Everybody, it is December 10th, 2025, and it's a Wednesday, so you know what that means. It's going to be time for some weekly manga recap. Normally, you're introduced to these episodes by the velvety tones of one Nicholas Freeman. However, Nicholas's voice is currently out of commission for the moment. It is in the process of recovering, so Nick will not be joining us today. However, I, Quinn, am joined by a fantastic and wonderful guest host today, one Austin Yorski. Austin, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well. I think you also got a bunch of draft picks for Nick as well, so that's going to really pan out in the future. I think you're investing in the longevity of weekly manga recap.
Yeah, he managed to trade me Micah Parsons. That's a big trade that happened this year that was supposed to be really bad, and I just heard Philip Rivers is back. So truly, time is a flat circle. We will always be eternally in 2010 if you really want to.
I tricked you. This is Botch Snap 2.0, the internet's favorite football podcast. Micah Parsons did just completely destroy my bussy this week, so very bad time.
Well, what did you say to him?
Packers. Thank you, sir. He did it excellently. Yeah, Philip Rivers is so funny. He's 44, and
not
like,
good.
Yeah, sure, bud.
And not good. That's the part I really need to stress. It's not like Tom Brady, where you're like, well, he kind of went out on top, really, when you think about it. No, Tom Brady did fully go out on top. Probably played one more season than he needed to. But Philip Rivers,
more on top than anyone's ever done.
But Philip Rivers has been bad. Well, not bad, but mediocre pretty much all of his career. So it is a curious move to be like, well, let's pull the guy out of retirement. I bet he's got some more mediocre seasons left in him.
It sucks to be like, even in my prime, this wouldn't have been a good idea. And I'm way past my prime. I guess they're also doing that with Joe Flacco, where the Browns were, and then the Bengals were early this season. Sorry about all the NFL talk. We're here to talk about Gokus, of course. Don't get scared. Don't turn off the Twitch.
Yeah.
It's Goku time.
Well, there is there a Goku in the NFL anywhere? Has there been like a kid that's clearly been named by like overly online internet parents? Is there like a Superman McGee who plays for like the Dolphins or anything like that?
I feel like soccer is going to be ground zero for people named like Goku Rodriguez and stuff. That's like my understanding of the demographics of sports right now is like Latin America fucking loves Dragon Ball and they fucking love soccer. So
soccer,
someday.
Dragon Ball, and King of Fighters. Those three, if you found a way to fuse all three of those together, like the Latin American and South American audiences together would be so powerful.
Absolutely. I'm expecting more Americans to be named things like, Hamburger Jones, Pikachu, McGee. That's more of our culture.
Yeah. Hamburger Jones is a pretty good name, honestly. I could see naming a Dice Funk NPC that, which, by the way, is a show that you record and release every single week called Dice Funk. And you should tell people about it because you're a special guest and you deserve something nice for helping fill in here.
Well, thank you very much. I assume our audience has a pretty big Venn diagram overlap, but if you don't know, Dice Funk is a actual play D&D podcast. Wait, don't turn it off. Don't. It's not like those other ones. It's not like the bad ones. I know if you've ever listened to one before, they're really bad because they're not edited well and people don't have any chemistry. Ours isn't like that. We're all very good friends and we've been doing it for 10 years. I edit all the burping out. It's really good. We're on season 12, which sounds fake. It's like numbers don't go that high unless you're like old telenovela or something. What is it like? Soap operas.
Yeah, General Hospital was on like season 39 or whatever, but Dice Funk will slowly catch up to it at some point. I was gonna say
if
that
I have my way.
I was going to say that maybe some people will specifically tune in for the burping, so maybe you should release an un-burp edited version of the podcast at some point, but then I remember most of those burps are probably my burps, so please make sure that no one ever knows that I have gas in any way, shape, or form at any time in my life, and keep putting out an incredible podcast, Austin.
It'll be a very niche product, but I think the burp cut, well, if we can get a couple of burp whales, I think you and I could maybe fund some activities.
It does vaguely remind me of when I was a part of that guy with the glasses. It was very notable that there was one. I don't even know what the term to use. It's not troll, because I do believe they were very authentic with their requests. But one person,
Goblin.
Goblin's almost too affectionate of a term. They would message all of the female creators on the website to ask them to burp for them. But then like then they would get very aggressive with it. So I like in my mind, anytime I think of it, I'm like, oh man, sorry if you're into burps. I'm not trying to judge you. You know, live your life. But I do think I need to find a better representative of the burp fetish culture, because the one I know was pretty awful.
There truly are just different kinds of people in the world. How fabulous. I have a very similar story because I worked for Channel Awesome as well, but in a different capacity at the video game site mostly. And there was someone who just every day commented on like any news story they saw, asking like, are there any bald women in this game? Like, do you want to write an article about bald women in gaming? Any bald people in this one? I'm just like, I wish I loved anything as much as this person loves a shiny dome.
All right, we do have manga to talk about on Weekly Manga Recap, so I am going to move us into it. We're going to start with Ichi the Witch. Though, interestingly, we are starting with a math problem. And audience, when I tell you, Nick and I had a conversation about whether or not he would be able to record this week, and, we had a little bit of a back and forth about what options were available. When Nick realized he wasn't going to be up for recording this whole episode, the first thing he noted, he's like, I can't believe I can't record an episode with a math problem. That said, Nick did send me a 40-second clip of him explaining this math problem that I'm going to play right now. Austin, you won't be able to hear it, so just imagine some very nerdy content is going on. But after about 40 seconds, I will pipe back in. But Nick did want to explain the process of the math equation that starts off this chapter of Ichi the Witch. This is 60-second hunt, hearts ripped asunder.
All right, relevant points of data. The distance between them is 279 miles. Kiyoshi is going 310 miles per hour. Goku is going 93 miles per hour. The difference between their speeds is 217 miles per hour, so 217 times x must equal 279. X equals 279 over 217, which sounds scary until you realize that they have a common factor of 31. Both of those divided by 31 gives you 9 divided by 7. 9/7 of 1 hour equals 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 8 4/7 of a second. Math!
All right, there we go. That was Nick, everybody, providing us with the incredible knowledge of how long Goku, Raku, and the rest of the gang have before Kiyoshi, the murder octopus, is going to catch up with them. So it is explained to us, as Nick just mentioned, that Goku, Raku, and his group are going at 1 speed, and Kiyoshi is chasing after them at a significantly faster speed. He's about 3 times as fast as them. So even though they have a lead, Kiyoshi will, it looks like, catch up with them at some point. And as you turn the page, Crow, the Chrono Weaver magic, has solved this math problem in the same way Nick has, and notes 1 hour and 17 minutes is going to be the time distance, and he is trying to do everything he can to stop Kiyoshi, so he uses his pause ability on the rain that is currently falling to cause the rain to become as solid as lead, so that when he unpauses it, the shards of rain, I don't even know what you'd call them at that point, they essentially pierce through the ground like bullets and kill Kiyoshi, which is notable because he comes back up. He says, I lived again. His number has changed from 204 to 203. And he's real happy because Crow has killed him real fast. It's really quite excellent of him. And Crow just notes, like, it's kind of mean to declare your trial to be killing you when your body gives you infinite lives. And Kizashi's like, they're not infinite. I only have 203 of them left. So, interesting situation there. And he notes that this reminds Kiyoshi of the first time he met the Chrono Weaver magic, when the Chrono Weaver magic was just chilling underneath the ocean in like a time bubble of some kind. He was going to build a nest there, but you already lived there. and they would fight each other and kill. And there is a 2-page spread that follows this, where the two of them just share a dialogue with one another, like a back and forth about all the different times Chrono Weaver magic has killed Kizashi. And it's very fun. I'm not going to go through all the individual details, but it's actually a very fun back and forth between them in this grand 2-page spread where you just see them kind of, Crow hovering in the air, Kizashi in the water, and it's very, very cool. Also, one time he was killed on Christmas, and that's sad because Christmas should be a time for joy. That's what the Muppet Christmas Carol says.
Do you think the octopus magic person follows the teachings of Jesus Christ? his Christ's Mass?
It depends how strong Jesus Christ is in this world. Now, objectively, Christ did rise again in that way.
Objectively. Yeah.
Objectively.
We can all agree on that.
We're all in agreement that Christ did rise again. He left the tomb and he did a whole bunch of other stuff. So in that way, Kizashi would have a new playmate to fight with. But we also don't know the limits of Christ's regenerative abilities. Is it only an Easter-related tradition, or could Christ have come back in November? Who knows, Austin? No, none of us.
This is all covered extensively in the Apocrypha. We don't have to get into it now, but they actually do power scale Christ pretty clearly. His main power is killing children. We don't have to get into it.
Wow. Is this that new movie you watched recently?
Yeah, it's Carpenter's Son, which I still need to find out who wants to talk with me about it, because I love that story. It's completely unhinged.
Yeah. I would say right now would be a great time for it, but we're in the middle of a chapter, so maybe we'll have to hold off on another time.
I'm going to make you talk about my books, Quinn.
The notable thing is that Kizashi is bringing up all these different instances and being like, hey, do you remember this? Do you remember this time? And every time Kurono responds with yes, that happened at this exact time period from, on this date at from 6:45 to 6:43, he has a whole list for each one of those, but he ends it by saying yes, Kizashi, I remember it all. I will admit that across my long life, the time I spent with you was not boring, and looking back at it now, I even feel a touch of gratitude. And Kizashi's like, well, then stay with me. Humans are so short-lived, you'll barely get any time with them at all. Why'd you say no to Hitsugi? Why didn't you, why'd you let yourself get weaker for some kid? And Kizashi starts to actually cry, saying, why did you let her take you away from me? I was so happy. I loved how you could kill me all the time. You were more powerful than me, so nobody could kill you or acquire you. I could relax knowing I would always have a friend there. So please keep killing me forever and ever, Chrono. And there is legit pain in Kizashi's face and even Chrono's face as he seems to be emotionally caught to this. He is having an emotional moment here. Even understanding his weird, confusing friendship with Kizashi, there does seem to be a little bit of hesitation in Chrono. When suddenly there is an explosion, and Kizashi just says, I can't do this. I won't let you abandon me. He uses a new technique, Gamma Blowout. And he divides himself into 7 different bodies. And we can see in these 7 different bodies, 6 of them have 10 lives apiece. And the remaining, Kizashi has the remaining 133. And he notes this is his super special secret attack. Bets no one else knows he can do it. And as it is, it looks like 2 of the mini Kizashis, I don't know, Kizashi Juniors in the Cell Game spirit, I guess. They go after our heroes, and the rest are basically going to tie up Chrono at this point, keep him occupied so he can't stop them. Jika Shirine notes that, there are 3 of them coming. And there are 10 lives missing, people are noting in our chat. So maybe there's even a secret one they don't know about. Jika Shirine notes hey, 3 of them are coming, which makes sense because we only saw 2 visibly coming. Unless there's a small, there's one in the ground or in the water as well. Wow, there's so much intricate detail in this series.
Much math.
Way too much math. And Jika Shirine notes hey, they're going to catch up with us in less than 15 minutes. We have to hurry and think up a plan. And Gokuraku is asking, hey, can I punch the octopus? I really want to punch the octopus. And he is saying this as he is like kneeling over, like kind of squatting over Ichi's body. And he grabs Ichi's mouth and just goes like, sure thing, go ahead. And the chapter ends with Gokuraku going, cool, time to punch the octopus. So
time to punch the octopus is the new time to make the donuts. That's like something I'm going to be saying when it's time to do something. Time to punch the octopus.
Anytime you have to do any kind of task, whether it's one, is this like something you would say for something you enjoy or something you hate? Like, time to punch the octopus. Or you'd be like, ooh, time to punch the octopus.
I think its strength is in its mundanity. I think it's like when you gotta like get dressed to go somewhere, or you gotta like set up a cable system or something. It's like the exact middle of that. Time to punch the octopus. It's just though it has to be like nonchalant for it to hit.
Well, I like this chapter of Ichi the Witch quite a lot. It was very fun. There's a lot of cool details. I like Kizashi and Chrono's relationship getting a little bit more detail and exploration. Ichi the Witch is really good at making its side characters feel connected to the universe, to feel like they have depth to them. That's not something that you always find in these sort of arc-specific shonen characters. But this is a series where if you are defeated as a magic, you usually then get absorbed into someone and kind of perpetually exist. So it does make sense why they're establishing these things now, just in case somebody acquires one of these magics by the end of it.
Is there a name, like, is there like a trope name for this kind of character who's just like a murder pervert, who's like in love specifically with like fighting one person forever? I feel like I've seen it, but I can't like pin down like the origin or like a specific character that like started this idea.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of them. I always look back at like Kenpachi is one of those, like the battle perverts, as you would sort of say, but they're in every series. Like, you know, I mean, Goku is a battle pervert when you get right down to it. Like, maybe not as outwardly like screamy and horny about it, but you know, he is
specifically like the like pseudo romantic thing where it's like, I just want to fight you forever. Like he kills Goku kills, you know, Cell or what he actually did kill, I don't know, he killed a lot of people.
I was gonna say he
like,
kills some of them, but some of them he does try to keep around so he can fight them again.
Yeah, but none of them where he's like crying and he's like, I just want to fight you forever, parentheses, I love you.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is compelling stuff. I do love that huge splash page where they recount all the specific dates and stuff. That looks really great. And all the silly, like, tentacle little ones. They have a great little, like, like one of them has, like, a six-pack. One of them is, like, a little kitty. I don't know. It's fun.
Yeah.
I like them.
There's a lot of fun designs there. It feels very, like, cartoonish in a good way. And good times. We are going to move along to Blue Box. Blue Box. This is number 222. I'm definitely going to win. So last chapter, Saki, aka Kyo's next door neighbor, showed up, and everyone's reacting to it. They're like, "Oh, Kyo will be thrilled. You've been coming to cheer him on ever since his second year of junior high, right?" And Saki thinks about this moment of junior high and how Kyo cried at one point. And
are we not going to say Kyo like the way you and Nick? Is that just a you and Nick thing? I'm not invited to the Kyo party?
First and foremost, you're of course invited to the Kyo party. I was going to wait till we actually, till he showed up in the chapter to do it. Like, because right after this scene, we have a scene where Taiki and Kyo are there.
Kyo! I've been waiting so long. I fucked it up. I'm sorry. I got too excited. This usually doesn't happen to me. I don't Kyo prematurely, but...
They're sitting there basically waiting for their match to be called, and it's told that that's coming up next. So they're sitting off to the side, and they're like, all right, we're up next. And Kyo just starts to say, I think the foundation of any human relationship requires respect.
I love to talk like a normal person.
Yeah. And Taiki just is like, where the heck did that come from? But Kyo explains like, hey, I really respect how straightforward you are, Taiki. And Taiki says in return, and I respect how open-minded you are. These are actually kind of like our styles of playing badminton when it comes right down to it. And Kyo just kind of says, like, I think I most respect the things I don't have myself. So I'll follow the example of someone I respect, my best friend. And he confidently says, I'm definitely going to win. And of course, Taiki in that way has to be like, "Nuh-uh, I'm gonna win." So they shake hands and they play a badminton match. I'm not going to go into the specifics here. One, because the series isn't really interested in them. The action is happening, but this is a romance manga that occasionally tricks us into believing it's a sports manga for a little bit. And the more notable thing is, while things are going on, Chinatsu is sitting right next to Saki. And because both of these women are watching people, men they have extreme respect for, they are having the opposite reaction. So, like, if Taiki makes a good play, then Saki's like, ah, no. And Chinatsu will be like, ah. So that gets them to start, talking to one another. And there is a moment where after, confirming that Chinatsu is Taiki's boyfriend, we see Saki get real annoyed, like, that accursed Taiki Inomata. He was the one who, stole Kyo from me because we used to play together all the time. But then he started leaving and saying, I'm going to play badminton with Taiki. And then she just continues, so I tried to get myself a boyfriend as a result, and it was a flop. And she looks over at Kyo, who's playing the match, and nearby is Ayame, who is, being the manager watching over things. And she just asks, hey, are those two going out? And Shitatsu's like, not that I've heard. And Saki's like, but I came hoping to steal him away today. And Shinatsu gives a real angry look in response until Saki's like, no, I'm kidding. I just want Kyo to be happy at this point. I don't want tears. I want him to smile. So I came to cheer him on. And she thinks to herself how Kyo has stopped crying at this point. He's grown up. He has become a big brother. And she recalls this match that she watched way back in the day where Kyo was defeated in junior high, lost to his opponent in pretty decisive fashion. And she just thought like, oh yeah, he cries when he plays badminton. Don't cry. You've grown up now into a boy who doesn't cry. And Chinatsu just notes like, so your feelings have gone from love to romance, and now they're trying to become love again. Saki's like, love? What the hell are you talking about? And she's like, yeah, you're childhood friends. It's basically family, right? What you had all this time was familial love, and then it became romantic for a spell, but I guess it turned into a love that simply wishes for his happiness. And when you think about your own happiness, that's romance. And the care you feel for him is just love. Even though the sense of cherishing him stayed the same, it changed inside of you, Saki. And the score keeps going on. Saki thinks about how she was like, grabbing onto Kyo's hand when he's young, be like, come on, no crying. How can you be crying just because you took a tumble? If you're a boy, you better be strong enough to pull me along, basically. And then she thinks about how, later when he entered in high school, she saw a dumbbell in his room. And she's like, oh, do you do strength training? He's like, yeah, I'm working on it for badminton. She's like, oh, always badminton. But then Kyo, actually shows her his arm, which is starting to get, actual muscle definition to it. And she realizes, oh, he is growing up. He is taking this very seriously. And the chapter basically ends with Saki and Chinatsu, both kind of affirming they're going to root for the competitor they want to win this match. And the actual game itself is still in its first set, but they're tied 15 apiece.
Do you think when Koji Miura, the artist and writer of the series, has to do the badminton scenes, they have to psych themselves up? They're like, time to punch the octopus.
Yeah, they might do that. Is this how you force the episode title to be "Gotta Go Punch That Octopus"?
I mean, there are a lot of great titles that are going to come up. I think it's good. We have plenty of opportunities for me to ruin your show. I wonder what would happen if I did a really bad job. Would you be like, sorry, we'll bring Nick back next week to redo that one? We didn't recap any manga.
No, it's really impossible because all you really have to do is provide spaces for me to occasionally breathe and drink water, and that's really all that's required. So as long as you don't start uttering really offensive things, you could fill that air with anything.
Well, I'm glad I could be helpful. I did like this chapter. I think Blue Box has been my chapter of the week like the last 4 times I've been on your show. So I'm in the pocket of big badminton. But I do like the way they talk about romance. I don't particularly relate to like the childhood friend stuff. I was talking to my partner about this a while ago, and I was like, why is that such a pervasive trope? Did people really just like fall in love when they were that little and let it affect them the rest of their lives? I didn't even think about that shit until way later. But I do like the discussion about like romance versus love and how love is more selfless. That's all very well observed and I think very cute. And the series is great.
Yeah, and I really like Saki's character growth of going from, hey, I'm kind of trying to position myself as like a meddler in Kyo's love life to like, actually, I just want him to be happy, I think. And it's good evolution. The teenagers in Blue Box, they all have good heads on their shoulders. There's not one of these kids who's like a real asshole who just won't get it together. So
they're always saying things about the foundation of any human relationship.
that's Kyo, though. He's a big nerd.
Yeah, that's kind of how I talked back then too, so that's fine.
Yeah. Were you super popular back then?
With a small amount of fucked up people, yeah. I have my clique of weirdos, yeah.
Were you the head honcho of your clique? Were you the one keeping everything together? Like, what was your role in your friend group when you were growing up?
So yeah, I'm thinking like how these people are in high school. So I'm thinking in high school I was like in the group with like, I don't know, like the outcasts, stoners, goths, emos and stuff, but I was on the football team. So I was, I think in a weird situation where
you were the cool guy.
I was kind of the cool guy. Also, and I know this, I don't, every time I come to this show, I make it way nastier. But I was saying, I was also sleeping with multiple people in different groups. So I also had that kind of weird thing to it. So I'm a fucked up little goblin. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, Austin Yorski, famously a tremendous pervert, actually, it turns out. So, always having sex with people.
I'm the only normal one. No, on our other shows together. Come on.
Yeah, our audience doesn't necessarily listen to all those shows, so in their minds, they're like, no, Quinn is like a pristine angel. She has nothing but pure thoughts in her head. And Austin Yorski is this little fingering monster who comes onto his show to talk about how much pussy he's slayed throughout his life.
It's not fair that there's people in your audience who don't know about our podcast Spit in My Mouth and that you're just getting away with it.
It's wild because I don't even know what that is. You're making up a show. It's so so unbecoming of you, Austin.
That's fucked up. You just deny everything. I don't have any proof. There aren't MP3s on the internet.
Austin, delete those MP3s. See, there's no proof now.
All right, Spy Family is cute. We talk about that.
Yeah,
I know those characters. Anya.
Yeah, you do know those characters. Frankie. Yeah, this is mission 126. So it starts with Lloyd talking to Frankie, who is sort of looking over the picture that was captured of Henderson, like greedily taking a bribe in the most hilarious way. And he's like, it does seem like really well done. Like if it is a composite, it's done particularly well, but they do point out that there is like a brief sort of shot of letters in the background that kind of cut off, that does suggest some kind of manipulation was done. Specifically, Frankie notes like, oh, you know what? I've heard of a talented new forger in the underworld who goes by the name the Silver... I have to look at that word because that looks like there's letters in there. I can't see. Halide?
I thought it was halide. Isn't that it's a chemical for... let's look this up. We don't have to embarrass ourselves.
I was going to say, I try to...
It's a chemical that is used in... Let's see. Oh, no. This is all... camera stuff, right? No. I'm stupid. Don't worry about me.
I mean, it would make sense if it was camera stuff. We'll just go along with that right now.
Yes, I'm right. Used in photographic films and papers.
There
Nailed
you go.
It.
The Silver Halide. So
I threw that full court and then started crying as it was going through the air because I was so upset about missing it. And I hit it. No. I'm so stupid.
Why did I make a shot? Why did I even bother try? Oh, I did it. So Lloyd is told that this person operates near the club Safe Light in the Southern District, so Lloyd is off. Meanwhile, we cut over to Henderson, who's like, hey, are you really planning to take me straight to the Ministry of Education? I hope you're not taking a circuitous route. And Martha is just like, give me a break. We're going the most direct break possible. If you really are this senile, then maybe you should retire. And that she just continues by saying, like, that said, the young madam was weeping over you. She said it wasn't fair how abruptly you were leaving. But I guess it's on brand for you not to consider the feelings of other people. And it's like, Jesus. You two are a very cute couple, but you also do know each other well enough to know exactly how to hurt each other, which I guess is the mark of people who know each other very well. Austin, what would you say if you wanted to hurt me right now?
Oh no, I can't, Quinn. I can't even get to that headspace.
There you go.
It
Perfect.
upsets me to even think about it. No.
Perfect. I am indestructible then.
Yeah.
Cut over to the kids inside of the room. This is Damien. I forget her name. Anya's friend and Anya. And they're
Little freak.
And they're worried about the floating monster. But Anya is able to mentally hear the voice that's like, haha, children are so easily fooled by a piece of fabric. And Anya's like, it's not real. Let's go get him. It is another person who is meant to be a line of defense. It is Purcell Klein, Matron Purcell, the Klein Hall's dorm advisor, who says her many years of doing laundry has made her a master of manipulating sheets and rope. And I wish that was even remotely true in anything else. Like, I wash dishes like pretty frequently. I wish I had some kind of like soap powers or something like that. Like I could shoot water.
Sponge ninjutsu.
Yeah, that'd be so sweet. Unfortunately not. She starts using her rope to try to like entangle up the kids. Desmond goes running and just grabs his net and he's like, Desmond, rolling sweep. And he just spins his net really, really fast. It gets caught up in the cables. And we stop there, cut over to our real antagonist, this douchebag. He probably has a name. I don't know it. I'm very, very sorry. Anyway, he reveals...
Is the Desmond's rolling sweep a ninja... not ninja, a Demon Slayer reference that way that he's drawn there? Or do I just not know enough manga? Because that definitely feels like a deliberate parallel there, the way he does that move.
Maybe. I didn't pick up on that innately, but I suppose it could be. I think I've seen just that kind of like body posture and everything like that. So
this is seeing my second movie after Boss Baby, getting a lot of Boss Baby vibes from this.
You're like every time you read the Bob, you're like, this is like Carpenter's son.
Yeah. All right, there's a douchebag.
Yeah, big jerk guy. You can tell he's a douchebag because his tie has big D's on it, which only douchebags have. I think that's just the monetary symbol they use in this universe. But anyways, he is revealing that, yes, he is the one who did all this stuff to Henderson to get him removed. And now that he is removed, they will have somebody, their own person in charge of admissions. And they will use that to take bribes and bring children into school. What was Aunt Becky from Full House? Lori Loughlin?
Oh yeah!
Yeah.
Wow, great pull.
This is
the admissions controversy, the scandal.
Admissions scandal. Yeah, Lori Loughlin over here is basically like, you could get my son on a rowing team, but he's never been on a boat. And douchebag's like, yeah, I can do it with enough money, so don't worry about it.
With enough dolk. The money of this universe.
Yeah.
I need to get this tie. I need to go apply for a job at the bank wearing a tie with dolk symbols on it. I think that would really help.
Yeah, dolk symbols.
I'm on some new money you don't even know about.
Fictional
Get
money?
on my level.
You might as well be like, yeah, I've got some Klingonites I've got to pay off or something like that. Well, what do the Klingons use for money? They use credits or something stupid, don't
Honor
they?
bucks.
Honor bucks? I don't know if you're kidding me. I legitimately don't know. What money do Klingons use? I like how one of my first options was, what money do Klingons use today? as though their currency
They've gone through a number of economic reforms.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm very distracted there. Anyways, the kids overhear everything that's going on at this point. Now it doesn't have to just be Anya that knows this information. The other kids have ears. So Damien and Becky are like really like, they're motivated. They're like, how could you do this? You're just doing this to make all this money. And Anya's like, wait, what is this about? she hasn't like picked up on this. It wasn't like an equivalent to like a spy series or anything like that. So they didn't have like she doesn't have any frame of reference for what they're talking about. They don't usually do embezzling, I guess it's like kid spy fiction.
Yeah, there's not a lot of like following the paper trails through the shell companies that makes its way into whatever the kids are watching today.
Yeah,
they're really more about 6-7, is my understanding.
supposedly. Now you do know, of course, what 6-7 is about. You're not like lost on a trend like so many people are.
I'm just gonna keep pretending I know. It really impresses the kids when I play along. So
Yeah, when you like really just start laughing around, you're like 6-7. That was good. That was real good. Dickhead guy is basically talking about how he has the negatives of everything. It's a real picture, all that sort of stuff. And noting like, hey, I could like even throws it at Damien. He's like, if you doubt its what is that word, Austin? Do you know that? Veracity.
Quinn, you just gotta pretend like you know. Just be like, the stuff. We're all aware, and just move on. Don't let it trip you up.
Veracity is a real word. I feel like I don't know how to say it.
The truth is veracity. Yeah.
Anya reads his mind to basically be like, hey, he doesn't care about that, but he really cares about this envelope over here. So she uses the net, snatches it all up, and she's like, ha, I got everything we needed. And douchebag guy's like, hey, whoa, we don't need to do anything crazy. You kids give me that, and I'll give you all the Stella stars you want. Right? You want to be Imperial scholars, and then you can write your own tickets in life. And Damien and Becky, taught by, Mr. Henderson on how to be elegant, are like, a Stella star earned that way would have no value at all. Yeah, we would never do something if we ever want to become elegant adults. And Anya is like, I could use some Stellar stars.
She's so bribable. What does she fucking care if they're fucking up the admissions process? She's trying to save the world.
Yeah, in a way, honestly, maybe it is maybe this is the good ending that's being offered right here. Anya just takes the stars and every problem is solved. But Becky and Damien are not going to let that happen. They know, like, all right, Anya's about to betray us, so we've got to get her out of here to escape with his documents. They run out of the room, but suddenly they are surrounded by a bunch of goons. Oh, no. And they're told that, hey, take care of these kids, which is wild. If you're running an emission scandal and you're like, all right, well, now we just have to hide the body of 3 children. Like, that feels like such a grand escalation of things.
I hate when adults menace Anya. They got to get that girl a gun. She needs to go to school strapped. This is fucking ridiculous.
She needs to be able to, like, shoot out, like, psychic energy beams at people or something like that,
At least, yeah. Mind crush these fools.
That'd be nice. When suddenly one of the individual from earlier, Lori Laughlin, is thrown into the group, all knocked out, and we see it's Miss Schlag. She's shown up here, and they're like, oh no, she's one of the cronies too? And she says, it is my duty to demonstrate the consequences of misbehavior. And no, she is in fact on the side of our heroes here. She says this is a tremendous disservice that they're doing, and she hereby is going to bestow punishment upon them all. And she has a whole bunch of lightning bolts that are caught between her fingers, almost like shurikens. So she is about to nitrous bolt all these fools. That is the chapter.
I wish there was this amount of accountability in academia, if there was like little old ladies throwing nitrous kunai at corrupt administrators. I think that would probably fix a lot of the problems with the American college system, don't you think? You're in college. You can speak to it more relevantly than I can.
I do think, I mean, I've been raised on manga, so in my mind, violence usually is the correct answer to solve most problems. If we all had like special kind of quirky ninja techniques, it would probably solve a lot more problems pretty easily. But unfortunately, I don't know if that's necessarily how it works in the real world. I'll say in my time in college, again, I have not seen anyone use shurikens at all, except that one guy, and he was removed from campus very quickly.
I would have said that violence wasn't the answer before, but I'm becoming radicalized. You haven't been on the internet recently, so you probably didn't see this, that the emails of the president of Harvard came out, and he was asking Jeffrey Epstein for dating advice.
No, I had not heard about that.
That's the president of Harvard, Larry Summers, is like, these teens keep leaving me on red, Jeffrey, help. So I think maybe we got to shuriken some of these guys.
Oh my lord. That was just
true.
That was such that was such a flashbang of information to receive.
Stay off the internet, Quinn. It's not good for you. You don't need that. How did that improve my life to know that? It didn't enrich me at all.
Yeah, I'm actually much more enriched now that I know. I'm trying to think of something I learned in school recently. Nope, nothing's coming to me, unfortunately. So.
Yeah, there's nothing really. We just got to start throwing shit at each other.
Yeah. Let's move on, Austin, to Hima-Ten, or should I say Hima-70, Chapter 70, New Year's Eve.
Okay. I didn't know what I expected. It wasn't that. This is a story about a guy who has the coolest problems.
Yeah, all of his problems are like these extraordinarily attractive and super successful women all want to date me, and I don't know how to just pick one. And they will wait for me. There is no time constraint. These girls are helplessly in love with me. So I could really take my time.
Waiter, my steak is too tender. My lobster is too buttery. Please help. Fucking hell.
Yeah, so the chapter basically starts with a little bit of a follow-up of the end of his date with Kana. And being like, hey, I have the magazine right here. You know, it's in convenience stores all over Japan. I'm on the cover. Has it really sunk in yet, finally, that a girl like me likes you? And Iamori's like, huh? And it kind of just comes out and says, you know, I could be your boy. I could be your girlfriend if you want. And Iamori wakes up and is like, whew, just a dream. Certainly, she would never be as forward as that. Who even knows, as he recalls her kissing him on the cheek and admitting her feelings for him. And he's like, oh, wait, I guess it's not exactly just a dream anymore. And he thinks about how this is the first time a girl has told him that she likes him. And it was Kana, this, you know, pinup model cover actress. Like, it's, you know, very, very, very impressive. Iamori wakes up and just realized his fridge is empty, so he has to go to the grocery store. And while he is there, he runs into Himori, who we haven't had to pay our Himori tax in a while. Unfortunately, we have to get a lot of it in this chapter. She is just full-on fail adult at this point. Like, it's very interesting. She is not portrayed to be a failure of an adult in any way, shape, or form. But she is at the grocery store just picking up booze and snacks, which is a very fail person, like, you know, habit to have. Like, you're usually not doing great in life if you go to a grocery store and mostly pick up just alcohol. But she
this
seems
is
to be
a beloved character type. It's just like the girl failure, the Misato from Evangelion. That people love it when
but Misato,
a conventionally attractive woman gets drunk.
But Misato was established that they were like, this is a problem. Like, she shouldn't be getting drunk this much. It is like a coping mechanism. Whereas for the audience, by the way, Austin has turned on his camera and Bjork the cat is visible to all. Oh, she's gone.
She was climbing on me, so I thought maybe she wanted to be involved in the show.
She did. Does she have any thoughts or feelings on which girl in Hima-Ten she likes best?
She thinks that all the girls should fight to the death, and the last one gets Iamori.
Okay. If they all were to fight to the death, assuming weapons are able to be provided, I would probably say, I think Himari has it. I think she's a CEO. She knows how to like take things down. I think she would have the best shot. In the Hunger Games, my money would be on Himari.
Oh, there she goes. Thank you, Bjork, for the update.
Anyways, Himono is there. She's got all of her stuff. She says, hey, you know, it's my first long weekend since I started teaching, so I am going to drink away my troubles. It's another privilege of being an adult. And Iamori says, that actually sounds pretty nice. Then, unfortunately, Himono invites Iamori to her house and, like, takes off most of her clothes to do it. I have no problem with Himono being a good neighbor, but, man, she constantly is like blurring lines that it's really inappropriate for her to be blowing and blurring.
Call her State Farm, like a good neighbor. She is there with her ass out.
Yeah. So she is drunk at this point as well, and she's like, "So what's wrong, my knight in shining armor? You wanted to talk, basically." And she's like, "What happened this time?" And he's like, "Well, it's just that for the first time in my life, a girl's told me she likes me, but she didn't exactly ask me out, so I don't know what to do." And she immediately thinks like, or Himoto's like, "Oh, which one was it?" He's like, "I can't say." And she immediately just thinks of the three of them. She's like, "I bet it was Akane." And he's like, "How did you know?" And she's like, "Well, she basically told me, but whatever." I'm going to act like I'm really insightful in this moment. So she just notes like, "Hey, so with all that, all that happened when you celebrated with her, right?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, celebrities are just built different. Like she doesn't study it all, but she's the type to take action when she really wants something. And you're straightforward around girls, so she probably felt the need to tell you. She needed you to know that she'd choose someone like you. Otherwise, you'd have, even though you've gotten to know an amazing girl like her, you might have never seen her as a love interest if she didn't outright come forward and say it." And she also just like, "Hey, you need to be ready for everything that's going to come with going out with a celebrity." And he's like, "I don't even know if I am going to go out with her yet." He's like, "I don't even know how I feel yet." And she's like, "Oh, well, I guess I'm not just your teacher." And for New Year's tomorrow, he's thinking, she has like a drunk moment. She's like, "Wait, what was I saying again?" When, hey, suddenly it's Kanai and, oh gosh, I've forgotten her friend. Mayu.
I can't save you, Quinn. I'm sorry.
Her friend is there. And she says it on the next page, Kanoe. So when she opens the door and greets them, she's, the kids are obviously like, "Oh, are you not feeling well?" And she's like, "Nope, just a little hungover." Another wild thing to say to your students, but I don't know, maybe things are different in Japan. I feel like I would lose my job if a student came to my house and was like, "Sorry, I'm hammered."
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in Japan. I saw a headline the other day. It's like birth rate drops to -5 million. No one's ever been naked in this generation. But also, Joe was telling me she knows someone who taught in Japan. I'm trying to remember the exact details of the story, but concho, where kids try to stick their fingers up each other's butts, and they're constantly having to avoid that. It seems like a nightmare. So.
Yeah, that does sound. I honestly, I've never considered that ever happening to me as a school teacher, and I'm now like, ooh, the kids aren't reading Naruto, are they? Because that was a pretty prominent scene in that.
God bless America, saluting the flag that you get to teach here.
Anyways, Iamori is told "Hey, Kana is here," or not Kana. Hanoka is here, so. He immediately is like, "Oh, I'll come right away." And she's dressed in her full yukata for the New Year's. And, she wishes him a happy New Year. And she's like, "Oh, hey, by the way, did you want to maybe do something? Something memorable for winter, the same way we did something memorable for the summer festival? How does snowboarding with our middle school group go?" And, she just notes, Mayu, I think, notes, "Yokomizu is going too." I don't know who that is. I hope that's his friend, because I don't know any other characters in this series. And that's where we end the chapter.
Is snowboarding the most romantic thing you could think of, Quinn? If your boyfriend was trying to take you to the most romantic spot ever to create memories, would you want to do it falling down a mountain on a little board?
Well, I'll say this. I don't think there are really any winter activities outside that I would enjoy doing. If my boyfriend was like, "Hey, we want to make winter memories together," I'd be like, "Okay, well, let's watch The Wire together inside with a space heater." But if I had to pick a winter sport to do, I think snowboarding would be. I guess I understand the concept of it better. I don't understand how skiing works. I've tried to mimic that motion. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand how you propel yourself forward or stop or slow down. There's the whole pizza French fries joke from I think it was South Park or something like that. Yeah. And it doesn't, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense to me. I don't have that, full body dexterity. But snowboarding, I mean, that seems fine. I just got to go forward, right?
I think any of the high-speed sports are too high risk for this. You want something more slow and thoughtful. Ooh. Just like a winter hike might be nice, But
no, God, no. It's so cold out here right now, Austin. It was like 10 degrees out yesterday.
Oh, you're so lucky. You live in heaven. Heaven fell out of the sky and it landed in Pennsylvania, and you're there. It's so nice. I miss it every day.
Yeah, I will. I'll save. I'll try to pocket some of that heat. I'll store it in a jar, and then when the next time you come to visit, I'll just open it and you can feel the cold for once in your life.
Hell yeah. I'm trapped in hell here. I will say that this Iamori needs to adjust his mindset. If a woman way out of your league likes you, that's her problem. You don't got to worry about that. That's really an HP, a her problem. Yeah. It's not a YB. It's not your problem.
It's like, shut up, dude. Let her say it.
Yeah, that's how I operate. It's really worked out. I just don't think about it.
I had a project recently that I had to do for my psychology course. This is where I interviewed our friend Little Dan to diagnose if he has autism or not, and then write a paper
and it
on
broke the scale. The little reader burst into flames.
Eventually, my teacher was like, less pages. I don't need to know more about this guy's way of like categorizing his Digimon card collection. But in the score of the whole thing was like out of 50 points, and I got my grade back. I got a 50 out of 50. I was very, very proud of myself, very happy. And went to class the next day. One of the girls was like, hey, can I resubmit it to get a different grade? And the teacher's like, why? Like, I had to do that for everybody. Like, what was your grade? And she's like, a 42. He's like, that's a fine grade. Like, it's not like you got like 25. She's like, but it could have been perfect. And he's like, nobody got a perfect in my class. And I was like, I did, but I'm not going to say anything just in case you meant to give me a 49 out of 50 instead or whatever. Like, this is a teacher who once already this semester inputted the wrong grades for an exam for certain people. So I'm already like nervous that he's like, actually, you didn't do that well. And I'm like, well, I'm just not going to say anything. Exactly, a her problem sort of situation.
Not to sidetrack us too much, but where do you fall on the evergreen academic controversy of the impossible perfect grade? Some teachers say, like, no one's ever done a perfect assignment, so no one should get the perfect grade. Do you agree with that, or you think that's
in the same way? There are maniacs out there who are like, they grade games out of like a 1 to 10 or 1 to 5, and they're like, well, I can't give anything a 10 out of 10 because no game is truly perfect. They're always false. It's like, fuck you. It must be miserable to live your existence where you just need to find you have an instinctual need to pull down anything even remotely good. Like, yes, maybe nothing is perfect, but like seeking that out and seeking the platonic form of a movie is like an insane thing to do for a score.
Yeah, then your movie score only goes to 9.
Yeah,
then,
exactly.
You're not using it. Yeah, I agree. It's just not fair because different teachers use different systems. So one person making some Baroque point about perfection is just going to disadvantage their students compared to someone else teaching the same subject who doesn't do that, and they all have to compete in our Hunger Games. So it sucks, but yeah. Sorry, Odor of the Flame. He's got a sword. He's little.
Yeah, it's Odor of the Flame, chapter 30, Fire and Water. This is going to be very funny. Nick, of course, recaps Odor of the Flame, and it's definitely the series I'm most grateful for him recapping because so many of the names are like, and I'm not a history person. Norwegian? I don't know what to call them. They're very Erndi kind of names, if that makes sense. Swedish chef, etc.
Oh wow, you're the one who said something cancelable. I thought it was gonna be me. It's a fun surprise.
They don't like canceling people over there in Norway or whatever.
They're too busy having healthcare.
They're too busy living the best lives. They're like, oh no, we have a 4-day work week, extra vacation, healthcare. Everything's great. You can call us whatever. We're superior than you in almost every measurable metric. So I may not call a couple characters by their actual names. I may just call characters by what I decide to call them right now. So Odor has activated his demigod form, which is very cool. I do like the visual of like his bones being visible beneath this like intense heat that like radiates through his body right now. It's a cool aesthetic decision. And he is going up against Water Person. I don't remember their name.
That's literally how I also process that. We are fucking children. We are so stupid. I hope Fire Sword can beat Water Guy.
That's what we're going to find out. Water Guy starts making a water axe. Odor comes in with the fire sword and they clash. Boom, action. Odor loses his sword. Oh no, tries to get punched and does the punch and it's really big and impactful and there's a whole bunch of visual effects. And then Odor's friend, the wind guy, is like, wow, you're totally creaming him. But then his big boobied spirit guide is like, this is bad. Oh god, the other big booby lady is like, hey, both of my arms are broken. Give me some painkillers. And she asks specifically if Kutane, I believe, is going to be able to use his bow one last time. And
I like the way that one very narrow vertical panel, it looks like, it makes it seem like it's just a pair of boobs talking, which it just says ellipses, but it really is just like, thanks for chiming in there, boobs.
She was observing the situation, and now she's acknowledged that it's bad. But we do need to see that she is a very pronounced chest. I will say, for a series with probably like, what's like volume wise, like the biggest breasts in Shonen Jump right now. This is not a particularly horny series, so wait,
if this is the volume leader, what's the surface area leader? I need to know.
Kana probably. From Hima-Ten, because all she talks about are boobs, so it occupies the most surface of her character, I guess.
No hesitation. You're a manga savant. You just knew.
Yeah. Anyways, we cut forward, and Water Guy is like, so lukewarm. You know, water and fire. I'm your worst possible matchup. And he just traps Odor in like a water orb. And it's very funny. Nick noted before that, like, like bringing in a water character for this is kind of, an odd move considering this dude is kind of nothing of a character right now. And this is obviously like the most intense, like, elemental matchup for a character of with fire powers. But yeah, that's the situation we're in right now. It's a ball of water filled with magic, and it puts all the fire out. And, thank goodness I got this power. I can grant His Majesty's dearest wish right now. And Odor, I guess through, he sort of talks with heroic vigor in his spirit, because he's not drowning, as he asks, why are you so adamant? And Water Guy's like, why do I need to tell you? That's what I hate about you. I've never liked you ever since we first met. Some lukewarm kid like you feels pity for his enemies. Do you sheathe your sword if your enemies make you feel sad? And he notes, like, hey, you've killed some of our soldiers, and you survive by feasting on meat and, and picking fruit, right? Like, stop acting like a half-assed saint. Don't be selfish with your judgment. You couldn't possibly understand. And we see an image of this individual without their shirt on, and there's, like, a wound by, like, their kidneys. And they just note, as far as enemies go, hate is the only answer. And Odor is asked by his spirit, hey, are words the only way to converse with a warrior? And Odor says, all right, fine. Still, I want to know. I won't be able to tell if I can understand or not until I know. And his fire powers are really, really strong, and it bursts through the water bubble. And Kutane takes that moment to say, Odor, take this, and fires an arrow towards him. And boom, what should it be but a sword? And we end the chapter with Odor saying, like, hey, thanks for the sword. And we see a big, 1.5 page spread of him holding out his new weapon. And it's an ember sword. So they are going to fight and communicate.
Yeah, it's like sending out a level 5 Squirtle to fight a level 50 Charizard. It's like you have the type advantage, but you do not have main character aura. Like, it's just not going to do anything. What do you think about this whole thing, Quinn? Does this do anything for you? Or I feel like you're jaded to shonen speeches of this nature.
Look, I always love a good speech, and I can admire a good, empathetic lead character when it works. With many things in Odor of the Flame, I think, visually it comes together pretty well, but unfortunately, writing-wise, it's very unspectacular. And I don't know. The series has yet to like fully like win me over at any one point in time. There's like brief flashes where I kind of like all the pieces, but a lot of time it's just like doesn't really excite me. Like I love shonen manga. I get so hyped when like a dude with a big sword punches somebody and it's like a really big action moment. Like I'm very easy to please. It's why I'm going to be aiming to teach young kids because I already have the same tastes and sensibilities as them. We'll be able to talk about the same media.
You're going to show them the Muppets and it's going to change their whole lives.
Oh, I intend to. But yeah, it just, sometimes you read it and you're just like, Odor of the Flame's fine, but I rarely ever get like excited about it or feel like a character really stood out. Like I don't know, his antagonist has like a decent speech. Like I do kind of like them being like, why do you care? Like why are you asking us these questions? I've killed some of your dudes, you've killed some of mine. Like why are we doing this? This is stupid and dumb. But I think a better writer would be able to elevate the material more. This feels very like acceptable, very like C average. Like, hey, I submitted it. I didn't follow the rubric, but I put enough pieces in to not fail.
Yeah, I like the panel with the kidney wound, like you mentioned, and them saying you couldn't possibly understand, like hints to be like, oh, is there more context, something to learn that's interesting? That I think is a little intriguing, but the rest of it is almost like placeholder, like protagonist Kun, you could never understand. I'll show you the power of friendship. I was expecting you maybe to even be harsher just because you have to do this every week for years.
Unfortunately, I've read so much worse garbage that like the stuff like this isn't even like boring or anything like that. It's just very like passing grade, like skating by kind of stuff. And it ultimately generally kind of works, but I do think that Odor, for a series that's not super popular, from my understanding, it's not selling particularly well. It's starting to rank in the back of the magazine again. Its life really depends on Jump having no other like new big hits. I just don't think that it's going to stay around that long. It just seems to have trouble capturing an audience, and I think part of it is the writing's just kind of there. I don't know. I wish I had like a more direct way to say what's wrong with it, but I think the answer is just a better writer would be able to do more with this.
I like the sword.
Yeah,
big,
sword.
Big, weird sword.
Again, art is extremely cool. Like I really do like the visual elements of the series. I think his like demigod form with his bones showing through the heat is like visually extremely cool. I just wish anything else kind of matched up with that.
Indeed. I can't believe you are still reading Someone Hurts. Why is this still on the show?
Not only are we still reading Someone Hurts, Chapter 13, can't delete it. It is super popular. It's one of my favorite series to recap every week. Why do you say that? Do you not like this series that's all about a romance related to a 3 a.m. comedy podcast on a Monday?
I think you're going to be very surprised by my character of the week when we get there. No, I just think it's a funny that it exists. It's such a strange, specific premise.
I know who your character of the week is. It's fucking Midran because it looks like Snorlax.
It's Midran. He's Munchlax.
He's absolutely. It looks like Munchlax. What do you mean?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so our chapter opens with Mizuo and, oh gosh, there's another one, Mimei.
Great sign. Beloved characters.
Look, again, Nick usually is the one recapping it, so I only have to remember when it's my turn to talk. When I was like, oh, I'm looking at both characters, and I need to name them right now. They are working again at Mizuo's friend's cafe. And they note that there is a prompt this week about name some fun facts about disposable cameras. And that prompts them to talk about now. Austin, I know a couple episodes of Weekly Manga Recap are still out, yet to go out, but in them we've started doing a thing where Nick and I try to create a hilarious response to these prompts, because usually their answers aren't that great. We want to see if we could do any better. So Nick has a answer to this. I also have an answer. If you want to use this time to see if you can come up with your own hilarious, fun, fake facts about disposable cameras, please do.
If you weren't already doing this, I was about to say that you have to, because it seems so obvious for your setup, and you don't do PPP anymore. So you need a new thing to spend way too much time on.
We absolutely do. I think that was too many P's, to be clear.
It felt right.
Yeah, no, it was the correct amount. Nick says, name some fun facts about this, fun fake facts about disposable cameras. His response was, They're meant to be thrown away after use, so don't try to wash them with your other cameras. My response to that is going to be a disposable camera eats 8 spiders throughout its lifetime.
I was going to say they steal your soul, but I think that might actually just be true. They're supposed to be fake facts.
Some cultures do believe that. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think who believes that. Ancient Egyptians, I think. Or that's cats. Never mind. Anyways, they realize, Mimei has realized that he has never used a disposable, or Mizuho, neither of them have used disposable cameras, so they're like, hey, we should probably get one. And the boss lady is like, hey, now that things have calmed down, here's your pay. And they're like, oh, cool, well, let's go buy our cameras and take some photos outside. She's like, well, if you're going to do that, at the big shopping mall at the station next door, Midran is making an appearance, and Midran is the mascot of the 3 a.m. comedy show. And it's popular enough to do like attractions. Like, I can't note how mind-boggling this is to me. The head radio host of like our local rock station regularly goes into the giant I'm at, and I just see the man ordering salami all the time. Like, there's no mystique, but this show is so impressive that their mascot has time to do appearances at places, and that's so charming to me. I want to live in Japan now. I'm like, this seems like magic.
I don't think it's like this. I think it's like raising the stakes of a thing it's like Akane-banashi doing it to Rakugo, or it's like, what if everyone is like way more insane about this than in real life? It's fun. It's a good conceit. Here, how about this for a fake fact about disposable cameras? If you use them too much, you grow hair on your palms and you go blind.
Oh, that's a good one. Requires a little knowledge and also continues to perpetuate the stereotype that you're way too horny on our show and a little sex freak. But yeah, I do like it.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
It's called playing a character.
You're doing a great job at it. And as mentioned, this mascot does look quite a lot like Munchlax. I do like when May's like, wow, it has a name? And they know, yes, Midran is the mascot of Midnight Talking and a radio-loving kaiju. So I want to see the movie now of Godzilla versus Midran, where at the end of it, Godzilla just chills and learns to like smoke weed and listen to podcasts at 3 a.m. and just like enjoy themselves. I think that's gonna be a really fun movie. So
yeah,
Toho or Toei, whatever company makes those movies, get on it.
Gojira's like, wow, I can't believe they said slurs in the first couple episodes of My Brother and Me. That's crazy. They really changed.
I would need to recommend better podcasts for those guys to listen to. I'm like, there's like 700 episodes of that show. They can't all be good. You should start with What the Fuck by Mark Maron. There's presumably less episodes of that, right? He stopped making it.
And that made it shorter somehow.
Yeah.
Midran is adorable. Is there merch of this? Can I get a Midran?
So it's interesting you said. I don't know if we mentioned. I think we have it at some point, but it's worth noting that Someone Hurts is still doing exceptionally well in the rankings of Shonen Jump. Like it was #1 in the magazine recently. Like most battle manga don't usually get that honor, so people really do seem to really enjoying this series. And I imagine that if it is successful long enough, it will get merch made of it. And in that case, yeah, they'll probably make a bunch of Midran merch. So. At some point, you might be able to get your own Temu Munchlax at some point. So the kids basically are told, like, hey, Midran's going to be over there. So they're like, oh, cool, we'll go try to get a picture with them. But the bar manager pulls Mimei aside and is like, hey, and tries to hand him $10. Is like, take pictures of Mizuho. And she's like, that doesn't seem like something I should do. But Mizuho overhears and is like, it's fine, I don't care. And he's like, oh. Well, then I'll do it then. You don't have to pay me. And she just has to awkwardly stand there with the money she tried to bribe a child with to take pictures of another child. And she's like, oh, okay, take care. And then ends with being like, I'm so messed up. And I guess I at least
that's called
appreciate
Riz, Quinn. You wouldn't understand.
I don't have that. I picked up my boyfriend exclusively through like Digimon factoids and like naming like nerdy culture objects. I have no Riz to do it.
That's the classic way. It's like how people used to meet like the grocery store, and now it's all apps. You know, you're doing it the old-fashioned way.
Do they
Digimon
in the old-fashioned way? Do they have to take 6-hour plane rides to see each other? Shit, they used to. Oh my god, yeah. Holy god. Wow, that's incredible. All right, so our heroes have picked up their disposable camera at this point. There are a bunch of jokes. The only one I think I want to note is Mizuho has one where she's like, let's use this disposable camera with so much care that our grandkids will be using it. And the joke is, but it's a disposable camera. It's very funny. So they go around looking for things, and May asks, hey, why don't, let's try taking some pictures to make sure we have some practice. Why don't you take pictures? And she's like, I only take pictures of things I like. And, he notes, like, that's rather stubborn photographer. And she's like, you handle taking the pictures. And he takes one of sort of the back of her head, and she they turns, and she's like, wait, why are you taking my picture? And he's,
listen, the back of her head. Okay, you know the joke. I don't have to explain.
I don't think I do know the joke, but I assume it's some kind of filthy, ribald commentary you're going to have about sex of some kind.
Yeah, seeing the back of a woman's head is a thing you can like and take a picture of. Come on. Quinn.
I'm not the one in the position of taking the picture of the back of someone's head, so I don't know, Austin.
No, it's the back of your head in this situation. Don't you want your lover to appreciate that view?
No, I mean, yeah, I'm sure he does. I'm happy for him in that way. I wasn't going directly in that mind. See, this is what I mean, Austin. Your mind went straight into the gutter. This is like an innocent scene of two kids out on a date, and you're like, well, tell me when it gets inside of her or whatever, when he sticks it in.
As soon as we're done, we get to the last chapter, I'm going to like drop the character and just be normal and be like, oh, so how are your taxes? Are you seeing a good return on your investments? I'm normal now.
I am not, unfortunately.
Oh, no. Your portfolio.
My portfolio. But he does note, like, well, the bar manager asked me to do this. And she's like, oh, yeah. All right. Well, I'm bashful on a giga level, a giga level even. And he's like, well, can I take your pictures while we look for Midran? And they're like, well, I guess. And we see a montage of them looking around, trying to find Midran. And honestly, taking some pretty good shots. Like, there's some like shots here that I'm like, oh, these are pretty well posed together and composited. It's actually pretty impressive. But they have little jokes and memories as they're doing it. And at the end of it, they're like, I guess he's, not here. This place is so big. We're running out of time. And Mizuho has a moment where she goes, but what we do know that we don't know where he is. The Socratic paradox, if you will. And they're like, you mean Socratic? And is that a thing? Austin, you're a big nerd for philosophy. Is that a thing? The Socratic paradox?
Yeah, isn't the Socratic paradox like you shoot an arrow at a target and it gets half the distance and then half the distance and then half the distance and then never arrives? It's like just like a thought experiment about that situation, I think.
So can I note something? I've always heard about like the fire in the cave and shadows on the wall, but I never really fully knew what that was all about. But in my speech course this year, our professor was trying to explain to us that analogy, and it took, I want to say, somewhere between 30 to 40 minutes for him to explain the Plato's cave analog or analogy and everything. And at the end of it, I was like, I don't understand why you told us this for this class. You could have just told us different people have different worldviews and to accept that.
An incredible blender of misunderstandings. Plato's cave is, of course, not Socrates, a different guy. I confused Zeno's paradox with Socrates' paradox. Zeno's paradox is the thing I said about the arrows. Socrates' paradox, just looked it up, is the statement, I know that I know nothing, which is a
just like George Bush with the known unknowns and unknown unknowns.
Not him. It was Rumsfeld, as I tell you 3 or 4 times a year. Why you're so attached to that being a George Bush quote?
He said it. He was like, there are known knowns and unknown unknowns. I remember him like in his canes. He's like, well, there are unknown unknowns and then there are known knowns or whatever.
You have truly fallen into the Berenstain Bears universe. I think you and I have talked about Plato's Cave before, because I think you said, like, it sounds nice in there. I would just stay.
Yeah, I mean, being like chained to a wall and just licking up like wall juice sounds like a pretty fine way to live. Like, whatever, shadows on the wall. You're saying I'm constantly being entertained and I don't have to do homework? That sounds incredible.
Yeah, that really cracked me up, where you're like, I don't see the problem with it. It sounds like they have everything they need in there. Yeah, you could just Google their unknown unknowns. It's a quote by Donald Rumsfeld, which I don't know why I let you make me doubt again, because we have this conversation like once a season.
All right, well,
it's winter. We got to have this conversation again.
Okay, I'll catch you on it next year. We'll see. I know you're sending me images of it, but I mean, I bet there's a clip of George Bush also talking about it. I'm going to look that up afterwards. Anyways.
Yeah, in your mind palace, you hear his Texan accent, which is crazy.
My Mind Palace is great. Do you remember the Mind Palace scene in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where it was like 1,000 doorways and like 1,000 staircases? What do you think your Mind Palace looks like?
You don't want to know. Not when I'm in character. There's a lot of back of heads.
Whoa. Oh my god.
Okay, Munchlax shows up.
Yeah.
The Audacity logo for a mouth.
Yep, he does. It's also a waveform. Audacity didn't make that. They didn't invent it. They don't have credit.
Sorry.
Yes.
It's giving me a lot of Boss Baby vibes.
Jesus. So yes, they find Midran, they run up, the people are like, wait, you're that big of fans? And I'm like, what did you why did you have this guy come out here if you didn't expect some reaction of people coming up and be like, oh, Midran, like, what, why was he here otherwise?
He's about to have an even bigger fan now. Next time this guy shows up, there needs to be like a bald, fat white guy in the background, like running full tilt towards Midran.
like a linebacker about to tackle him.
Yeah, put Doug Walker into an anime. Why not?
They can't stop. Yeah, they could do it. If the Someone Hurts author, if I Yamano is listening to this podcast and wants to do something, then yeah, you can draw a picture of Austin Yorski heading towards us. If you don't know what Austin Yorski looks like, just draw like a hunky guy, just like a hunky dude, and then write Austin on the shirt. Okay.
And then they're in love. The end.
they take a bunch of photos using the cameras, and they're going to go pack it up. But Mizuo notes like, oh, well, I should at least take, like one myself. And she's like, well, all of today's memories are packed in here, right? It feels kind of heavy now. And he's like, no, it weighs the same as when he turns. She snaps a photo of him. And she smiles. She's like, payback, since you said so many of me. And he's like, delete it. I'm shy. And she's like, it's a disposable camera. They can't do that. Very, very funny. Anyways, they give the images to the bar owner, and she's looking through them. And she's like, oh, Midran is so cute, but Mizuo is 1,000 times cuter. And then she sees the one photo of Mame, and she's like, what the hell is this doing in here? She's all mad. While at the same time, one of Mame's jokes gets read on the podcast. So, boom. I guess I keep calling it a podcast. It is a radio show, I guess.
It's the radio, but I know what you mean. The joke is the dial turns counterclockwise in the southern hemisphere. That's pretty good.
Well, that wasn't his. That was from someone else. His joke was they're 90% water.
That's not as good. I was hoping the other one is his.
No, it's honestly one of my favorite things. Is I'm still waiting for one of his jokes to actually be good. The whole series is kind of predicated on this premise that Mame is like secretly kind of funny and wants to be a comedian, and I have yet to laugh at one of these guys' jokes. So I'm waiting for one of those that really is like at least okay. At least one where I'm like I get like a wry chuckle out of it or something.
Yeah, I mean, this is a hard prompt. I don't know that the fortune is with him, but that was a fun, cute chapter. I like it.
Yeah, I liked it. And we are going to move on to Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi. There is, unfortunately, no Munchlax in this chapter, but this
fucking
is
garbage.
Yeah.
Irredeemable trash. Move on.
Garbage. Let's throw it away. I'm going to let you know, Austin, none of the chapters left this week have a Munchlax in them.
All right, I'm going to head out, actually. I'll see you next Dice Funk. Patreon.com/AustinYorski.
All right, this is Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi chapter 72, Kiyoshi in the Yamada household. So Kiyoshi wakes up And he's like, hey, ow, my body hurts. Where am I? And he looks around, and Mr. Yamada's there, and he's taking care of them. And he's like, oh, well, you're here. All you need is just a tiny bit of courage. Aren't you supposed to become an exorcist who can help everybody? And Kiyoshi just smiles and says, I'm glad you're okay. And he says, right back at you, and they hug and embrace. And he's like, oh, you must have saved my life. He's like, oh, no, I didn't do anything. You actually saved my life. But I was sure you'd have forgotten about me by now. Like, I didn't think so. And Kiyoshi just says, no. I mean, if not for you, I wouldn't be here right now. Ever since I become an exorcist, there have been plenty of times where I really nearly gave up. But each and every time, he remembers how Mr. Yamada told him how to breathe. And he demonstrates it. And he's like, you really saved me, mister. And Mr. Yamada is like, oh, don't be silly. It's all you. The kid comes in, hugs Kiyoshi. They have a moment. And then Sosuke and other people also show up. Yamada's wife. Then there's the other dude with Cook. It doesn't really matter. They explained that, like, the situation happened that they were able to, like, kind of chase off some of... Oh, God, I forget which one is going. Gaga, I think. They all have dumb names. It's like Bobo, Gaga, and something else. They were chased off as the remnants of Astaroth's forces arrived as reinforcements. But, you know, things are still really bad. And Kiyoshi has used his energy for the day, so he can't fight right now. Like, he has to recover. So they say, like, hey, Sosuke, you need to go support Shuten, like, wherever he is. Like, go do it. But Harai's, you know, being targeted. He won't be safe there. And they're like, no, don't underestimate me. Is it Lulu? They're all dumb names that I don't know. One of them's a girl. That's like one of the few factors we know. And I would assume she's Lulu, but that might not be. She might be Gaga. I don't know anymore.
The only thing I have to say about any of these names is, do you know Astaroth, where that comes from?
Astaroth. Is that D&D? No, wait,
I mean, D&D. I mean, obviously took it from the same source. It goes back much further than that.
Hold on, wait. Astaroth. I have to double check something real quick. Soul Calibur.
Yeah. All of these things are taking it from the same source, yeah.
Which is Astaroth from Soul Calibur. He is a golem. He has been in most of the games, it looks like. After he has killed a new Astaroth appears in Soul Calibur 5. However, the original return for Soul Calibur Lost Souls and Soul Calibur Unbreakable Souls. What the fuck are those? Are those mobile games?
I think one of those is a PS Vita game.
I was going to say Soul Calibur Unbreakable Soul is absolutely a mobile game.
Okay. Astaroth is one of the demons from the Infernal Dictionary, the Lesser Key of Solomon. You know, where all the Shin Megami Tensei demons are from, and the Has-Been Hotel shit.
Wait, is that where the penis thing is from?
No, Mara. Mara is Chinese mythology, I believe. Is where that's from. But I mean, the name Astaroth is derived from an earlier Zoroastrian tradition or whatever. But I just wanted to say something I know about, which is Shin Megami Tensei. So that's my contribution to this.
And I added Soul Calibur. Austin, I do have tragic news, unfortunately. Soul Calibur Broken Destiny was the PSP game you mentioned, but Soul Calibur, what is it? Soul Calibur Unbreakable Soul. It did already end its service, so you cannot play it. It actually ended in the same year. It ended very quickly. It started in May and got canceled in December, which is insane for a mobile game.
I'm sure there's a fan server like for Conquered. You know, do you see people were trying to fire up some Conquered servers to play that game?
Are they? Holy shit, this made me sad. I was like, oh, I can see on this page the next game. So what was the next game after Soul Calibur Unbreakable Soul? Austin, that was Soul Calibur Patchy Slot, the pachinko machine game.
Yikes. Do not do business with any of those companies. Mara from Buddhism. Yeah, I just double checked. I wasn't sure if it was Zoroastrian or Buddhist. It's Buddhist.
Okay. So Kiyoshi is going to spend his time eating. He is going to be protected by Cook and the other guy. And Sosuke is going to head out and try to find Shuten. Cut over, and I forget his name, but I want to say Shishio, and I'm just going to say that until someone corrects me in our chat. Is fighting. I don't know which one she is. Oh, wait, now, Hell's a Lulu. She says it. She says it right there. Okay.
Your listeners need to start a supplementary podcast where they just talk about the names and then we can edit them together. I think we can really fix this.
It would really be great. Shishio is like, hey, quit sending your lackeys to fight me and fight me yourself, basically. And she's like, oh, but they serve me, which means they count as an extension of me, so I am fighting you. Besides, they're not my lackeys. Every planted bug in the demon kingdom is my slave, so everyone's super happy to get to serve me. And she says this while sitting on like a terrifying rose tower surrounded by carnivorous plant monsters. They are super cool. Austin, not to detract us from this and turn this into a spew punk, I have been playing Fire Emblem Three Houses recently. And I am dismayed to learn that I am just the character Bernadetta. That's not a character. That is just me. They put me into a video game. Many reasons why we are the same. The constant apologizing, the traumatic backstory. We literally share the same birthday, but also notable, she loves carnivorous plants. And I was like, this is such an obscure, weird way to like connect to me. I hate you. Japanese development team that made it.
How did that affect the way you interacted with her? Were you like, oh, you should be a front line because it's like my self-insert? Or
yeah,
like, I must protect her, put her in the back?
No, I mean, I gave her all the stat upgrades because I wanted her to be as strong as possible. And then I tried to ship her with the character I liked the most. I tried to ship her with Felix because, I guess I accidentally spoiled the guessing game of which character Quinn was really into in the game. But I liked Felix a lot and they had a support. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just try to make it so she gets together with Felix at the end. And I'm so fucking mad. She ended up with Lawrence or some shit. Or no, Dorothea ended up with Lawrence and she ended up with like, I don't know, some fucking nudniks and then not Felix. I was real disappointed. I was like, this sucks. I think Ferdinand,
you get a couple more tries. You get to do the other routes. You can fix it.
I'm so mad. I hate this shit. I was so mad when Dorothea got matched with Lawrence. I was like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
Damn. Cool life, though.
Yeah.
So this lady loves slavery. That's not good.
This is like the fun kind of slavery, though, where it's just like about eternal loyalty and like, I don't know, she'll cut your head off whenever she feels like it. So, it's kind of like fun in a fantasy way because you're like, already being poisoned by plant monsters anyway. Who cares?
Clip the fun kind of slavery. Send that to me, Austin Yorski at austinyorski.austinyorski. Thank you.
I think you need to work on your web address. I tried typing it. It says 404, not found. It's not a place.
It should just send you a picture of a dog.
It should, honestly. You should buy that domain, austinyorski.com, and it just sends a picture of Mr. Egg anytime you click it.
Yeah.
Shishido just says, like, hey, they're not your slackies, but your slaves. If you keep acting that way, nobody's gonna, like you, basically. And she's like, wait, really? And she's like, that's not true, is it? And her, minions are like, no, we're with happiness. She's like, yeah, I knew it. But you took too long to answer, and she cuts off all their heads. So she's just like, fine, you had to go and be a total meanie, and now all my lackeys are dead. And she's like, not that it matters. After all, everyone here is going to die. And her lackeys start to cough up blood. And Shishido starts to cough up blood. And she's like, yes, this is the mist of the poisonous flower of the demon realm. The Poisonia, which is, I don't think a pun. This is like a Pokemon level portmanteau, but like a bad one where you're just like, come on, guys. We didn't really work too hard on Poisonia.
Yeah, maybe in Japanese it's more clever. They didn't have time to really workshop it in English.
Yeah. The poison from them from just two of them could destroy an entire nation. One of those great boasts I love in a shonen manga because it's absolutely meaningless. Our characters can shoot nukes at all times. So who cares? And she's like, and you've already inhaled so much of it, so you're gonna be dying. Your lungs must be all torn up. Tell me, does it hurt? Tell me what's going on. And she's like, oh, wait, I know. How about this? If you become my slave, I'll cure you. Now, hurry up and do it before your lungs rot out. And he's like, what? You think you could troll me with this poison? Don't you know, Lulu? We humans have this saying. When life gives you poison, you mix it with precept power and spit it back out. Which, I'm not going to lie, I've never heard that one before. I've heard variances of it, but not that specific version before.
Yeah, that's the most unrealistic part of this chapter is slightly altering a famous saying.
Yeah. Anyways, Shishido breathes in all the poison and I guess sucks it out of his body with his like ability to eat and shoot things out as magic, and he just fires out all of the poison from his body, which is a pretty cool ability to have. I would love to just like eat something not good for me and then right afterwards be like, I'm just gonna spit out the bad parts. Like I could have 17 Oreos today and then just spit out the extra calories I don't want.
I don't know that you should have that much power. I feel like that would get out of hand.
I would be pretty strong if that happened. Anyways, he notes like, good, you finally gotten down off your throne. The only person who gets to look down on me is my favorite idol when she's up on stage, which is a very funny thing to say when the person he's facing off against is just taller than him. So no matter what, she's always going to be looking down on him. And she says that. She's like, I'm still looking down on you, nasty, creepy, freaky geek. The chapter basically ends with her saying like, or Shishido saying, you've got quite a mouth on you. I'd love to know what kind of morons raised you, which is, funny because he does know which moron raised her and he's friends with him.
Yep. So, moral of the story, short kings rule, I guess.
This is a fun chapter. I think Shishido is just cool. Like I like seeing him do things. It doesn't 100% make sense, but I don't know. He does cool things. I don't know what to tell you. I enjoy his stupid power, and it's fun. He has definitely been like a bright spot in this series. Oh, Austin Yorski.
Yeah.
Austin Bartholomew Yorski.
Nope.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Edward Norton said that.
You know my middle name. Okay. Joe and I were in a Barnes & Noble's the other day looking for the new Pathfinder book, and I saw Niue's Exorcist on the shelf, and I turned to her to explain, Nick and Quinn call it New Exorcist, and I was like, this isn't worth explaining. I got scared and then stopped.
You were like, hey, a fun fact about this? Actually, I forgot.
Yeah. I literally was. I was like, oh, this series, blah, blah, blah. This, I don't know. It's just, mansplaining manga that we walked by. And then I saw Niue's Exorcist, and I was like, I don't actually care enough.
Also, Austin, please join us. Gaslight yourself into continuing to believe the series is called New Exorcist, because I am fully in this world. I am a little worried that if someone ever asks me, like, what series do you talk about on the podcast? I will, like a stranger, someone I'm just meeting for the first time, I will be like, oh, we talk about, like, One Piece, Akane-banashi, New Exorcist. They're like, what?
I mean, it would be a great plot twist if they do a sexorcism at some point, and you'd be like, oh, fuck, the title works on so many levels.
The new sexorcism is happening.
Yeah, and it has to be a new one, not just any old musty sexorcism.
I hope this series ends with like Niue being like, and now, Gakuro, you have truly become my sexorcist.
We really are the last of us. Okay, I think we could go through this one pretty quick, right? A bunch of annoying stuff happens and none of these characters matter at the end.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is throughout this episode, I've kind of guessed on characters' names. I don't know these characters' names even when Nick is recapping it because they're all relatively indistinguishable from each other. I know like Shitotsu and Fumino and stuff like that. Or Shiroha, I think. And this chapter involves almost none of those. This is chapter 125, Niue's Memories. They found out that, what is his name? Soranaki.
Nick, you have to get better.
No,
Nick,
it's right.
T.
It's right there. Soranaki is his name. His power is electricity. So they're like, cool, we don't need to do this festival anymore. Stuff happens. Niue channels her energy into the baton that she then passes to... oh God, I don't know her name and I don't care.
I spent this entire chapter thinking about how to do a baton pass, the Pokemon move joke, and it just didn't come together. I was just like, well, if you quiver dance, you can give the baton. I don't care. Fuck off.
Who cares?
I just ran out of steam. Yeah, belly drum, and then you. Fuck it.
I'm only bringing this up because this is like one of those crumbs of New Exorcist lore that occasionally gets dropped. That I'm like, I have to remember this because this might be relevant like 30 chapters from now, and I can't look like a fool then. I will look like a fool when I'm like, who the fuck is this character? And everyone's like, don't you remember that flashback? But anyways, Nue channels the energy into the baton. It gets handed to Natsuki, who I guess is the princess lady's name, and she sees an image of a young woman who she sees spending a bunch of time with Nue, and she's like, oh, I somehow could tell that this is Nue's first contractor from 1,000 years ago. And then she sees images of Nue, this particular exorcist, and Soranaki hanging out together. And she's like, these three were companions. And then Soranaki, grins, gets real mad. And for some reason, Gakuro shouts princess because she's won the race and hasn't realized it, but she stopped. So I don't know why he had to scream. In his mind, should she have not just completed the race normally? Why is he worried?
I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, it's actually pretty unimportant because, hey, they won the race. Soranaki's like, cool. Well, let's do it again sometime. And Nue's like, nope, we're going to kill you next time. We're going to even provide the venue. And, he says, next time, I'll provide the venue. We will, the evil people or whatever. And he tries to grab he tries to grab her boob, and Gakuro cuts his arm off or something like he just slices it off, and it goes don't touch Nue. And Soranaki's like, oh, you are strong. I'll be looking forward to it. He kind of just laughs and goes crazy and then disappears. Then the rest of the chapter is about trying to follow Nue to see what she's up to. And for some reason, Shitotsu is along because she sleeps with Gakuro in a really clingy way. So they're like, well, I guess we just have to bring her as well. There is a minor joke that Nue goes into a pachinko parlor and then loses all of her money very quickly. I assume she was there playing the Soul Calibur game because she's really into the lore.
Yeah.
They also go to the grocery store and she's picking up, I don't even know, wafer with card sets. I don't even know what that is. That's some nonsense Japanese thing. Wafer and cards seems ridiculous.
You don't get your daily wafer and cards?
Unfortunately, none of my grocery stores sell wafer collections that are modeled with anime characters on the front. I would love that though if it did happen. So giant food stores, if you're listening, get on that. Nue goes back to school. They follow her there, and they're like, hey, she's just kind of walking around in circles at this point. Maybe she noticed us. We should fall back. When suddenly she disappears. And they're like, wait, she vanished, but we never took our eyes off her. And then they appear somewhere else. And she's like, where are we? And it doesn't really matter because someone who's with Nue is calling us. And Nue just says, oh, you let them in, Geika? That was naughty of you. I don't know who Geika is, and I don't care. They open the door, Nue's there, and they can see that there's a monster form. That's the chapter. New Exorcist, everybody. Good times.
I give this chapter 1 severed hand out of 2. Of course, I'd never give 2 severed hands. Because no chapter is perfect.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, New Exorcist. This wasn't that crazy of a chapter. But I do enjoy that. I guess just in a true heel way to really rile the crowd up. He did go for one more boob grab before he left. Just one more. I feel like being a real heel.
One for the road. Is there anybody in your audience who's annoyed that we're being disrespectful to New Exorcist? Or are they all in on it with us?
There is a legitimate portion of our audience that does enjoy New Exorcist in an unironic way. They're like, oh no, I legitimately think it's kind of funny how silly and goofy the series is, and it seems to be somewhat self-aware of its own ridiculousness. So I think they just enjoy that we dunk on it in the same way, because there is a collective dunking that I guess the series is doing. But I very rarely do people message us afterwards being like, yeah, you got that wrong, right? You just completely misunderstood it or whatever. They're like, hey, whatever, who cares? The stakes
they
could
really
not be
got to
lower.
turn up the dial for this to be like fun bad. Like someone needs to get their hand cut off like every other page. Like that's the level for me.
Every so often you do get really fun chapters of New Exorcist, like the one where a baby filled a room with piss and they were all going to drown in piss unless they could solve a way to stop the baby from doing it. But then the baby turned into like a young, like a teenage girl who Gakuro kind of had to do. It was gross. That was the part that sucked.
I would have been like, actually, Quinn, something came up. I can't be on the show tonight. I gotta walk into my backyard and lay down on the ground. So I can't make it.
I've got to lay down in the grass for a bit. All right. Austin, Akane-banashi. This is story 186, The Art of the Personal. And we open with a flashback to Kaisei's Shinichi promotion exam. And we see that the judges were the other three members of the Arakawa Four. Sho can't be one of the judges because it's one of his students. But the audience said, with the judges and the audience score, it's unanimous agreement. Kaisei is to be promoted to Shinichi. Someone's asking about marriage talks, and I was told there is no marriage talks in this week. If there is, we will have to discuss it next time.
You just trying to keep it from me? I love marriage toxin.
Do you?
Yeah, last time I was on, I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to look over. I didn't think there was a chapter this week, so I didn't read it. Okay. Yeah, sorry. We'll have to recap that one next time because I truly haven't even touched it. So, Kaisei is going to be promoted to Shinichi. I like how people are now bringing up marriage toxin. Marriage toxin comes before New Exorcist, to be clear.
Wow, they have that close of a handle on your whole thing? That's really impressive.
Yeah, they are.
I've listened to this show every week for like 10 years, and I don't have that good of a handle on the order of the series. That's crazy. That's cool.
Yeah, people enjoy it, and you just don't like me. That's okay. It's fine.
Oh, damn. But you know what I do love? Akane-banashi. Everyone has such an interesting, different personality disorder.
They really do. So it was explained that Kaisei performed God of Death, and it was very well received. And, just like that, to celebrate his favorite pupil's promotion, Master Sho will perform a story. And he goes up, and he performs the God of Death. Just doubles up on the story. And it's considered a great taboo to do that. And he willingly broke this cardinal rule to ask an unspoken question. Do you really think that was enough for you to be considered a Shinichi like me? And we then cut to after the performance. Narration says that after Sho's performance, Zensho requested a retraction of the vote, which triggered an appeal of the result. And Kaisei Arakawa's attempt was crushed by his own master's hand. And we get another little flash of him smiling in the rain saying, "You understand, don't you?" So we cut to Kaisei, who is telling a current story. And I'm sorry, Nick usually provides a lot of deep insight into these stories as he's reading them, but I don't have that dog in me, unfortunately, right now. My voice is getting a little bit hoarse. So while Kaisei is telling his story, he is mentally also thinking about the visage of his instructor, who he just fucking hates. And, Akane, as she's watching it, she's like, their tone of voice is completely different, but the tension in the air, the pressure, and she is sort of seeing Isho in Kaisei's performance right now. And Kaisei is thinking, "Master, I know the drill. You only bare your fangs towards those you feel have true potential." And we sort of see that scene where he kind of confronted Akane when she had to work underneath him. And he's just thinking, nothing venture, nothing gain, which is why that shot across the bow. And, he recalls. Wow. All right, Austin, why don't you just do the goddamn podcast?
That's what you brought me on for, right? To point out when you fuck up in front of everyone?
Uh-huh. Thank you. Thank you so much for that.
I'm sorry.
Run like the wind. Indeed. The majority will lose their spirit to keep and fail to keep up, which is exactly why you are worthy of such praise. And Kaisei's like, even that pointed remark was intended to make me angry and make me get better, basically. So hey, all this stuff is sort of going on in his mental palace as this performances going on. He's like, I understand it, but I can't control myself. And there's even like a shaking in his hand. Like, that's how angry Kaisei is in this moment. This fury, thick and dark and burning. I hate his every word and action so much I can't stand it. I refuse to let this reflect well on him. I swear he'll pay for everything he's done to me. And he gives like a big exhale and he's like, I'll never forgive you, you old bastard. As he finishes telling the story of glaring back. Whoa. And the audience is like completely torn down. There's Akane notes that this is a ferocity like none she's ever heard before. And Kaichi comes in and just like, it's stunning, isn't it? The polar opposite of his usual aloof self. After the promotion test, his Rakugo changed. It's the art of the personal, the use of Rakugo to speak one's mind like a documentary, but in the format of a very high-quality fiction, a style that forms the opposite of the craftsman school. And according to Master Iken, this is all a necessary step to mold him into becoming Isho's successor.
I can't believe we're 186 chapters in and they're still finding cool things to say about Rakugo. Truly impressive. I love the picture where all the audience is getting blasted. Like there's like the speed lines from the power of the acting. That's how I felt when I saw Rental Family with Brendan Fraser. I was there going like, whoa, you can do this? Acting so powerful.
I also saw that movie very well. Very, very good. We'll talk about an upcoming Speed Punk, I'm sure. I do want to note that this series is going to make me really mad because my boyfriend and I are trying to make plans to go to Japan, and I'm sure one of the things we want to do when we get there, because we're both manga nerds, like we want to go see a Rakugo show, and I'm going to be so mad when I don't have like a crazy reaction. I'm like, oh, that was kind of just like a person telling the story. Like I never at any point like found myself like unconsciously like drooling on my hand at like the description of food, or like I was never blown away by the intensity of a stare. It's gonna be like, damn, this sucks. Akane-banashi, they make it look like so cool, like a 4X like movie going on.
Yeah, you're demanding your money back because the story about like a normal Japanese couple having a discussion didn't like knock you out of your body and like,
I'm still wearing most of my clothes. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Food Wars. I'm gonna be like, I tried a bite of this food and I didn't have an orgasm. So what's going on, Japan?
This is their number one issue. This is like their whole political system is trying to solve right now. Mm-hmm. Is why isn't shit cool like in manga? Oh my God, we're on the last one. It's One Piece.
We are on the last
your
one.
Voice.
We are on One Piece, chapter 1168, The Snows of Elbath. And we open on a cover page that honestly I don't want to speak about too much, as sheep are kind of giving me Mr. Popo Jinx vibes, so...
let's just politely pretend we do not see it.
I'm just going to move on ahead. Oden is an old man. He's allowed to have controversial views.
He don't have internet. You know about that?
No. Is that a meme? Is this another BlueSky meme?
No, it's an NBA meme. There's a basketball player who said some like kind of fucked up anti-Semitic stuff, and someone said he just don't have internet. He don't know. Sorry.
Wild. The chapter opens about a number of years ago. My eyes are starting to go as well. A bunch of characters are just commenting throughout the world about how awesome it must be to have the giant Navy officers. Like, that's great to hear. I used to think they're so scary, but now that they can help us, I bet it's great, basically. And food's getting shipped from Elbath, and their cuisine is spreading. And Harold is like, this is great. Like, we are finally doing it. I think we should build a cruise ship so that we can travel freely to our fellow nations. And, like, this is like a bright future. Like, I am going to see it through, Ida. Cuts over to the Walrus School, and he sees children playing. He's like, this is thanks to you, Saul. And Saul's just like, yeah, a lot more healthy for kids than swinging swords, basically. But don't it scare you thinking about what you're losing? He's like, well, I no longer think of military might as our nation's strength. Ida taught me everything I know. The fact I met her is my lifelong treasure, and he thinks about her grave. And then within this flashback, we get another flashback to when Ida actually died. And I will be honest, I don't particularly care about this scene. I don't think we needed to cut back to it. She just dies happily. It's not even like really that sad. She's like, oh, this is tremendous. Our world's really moving in a much better place. And then she passes with that feeling in her heart. Honestly, maybe one of the top 10 ways to die outside of like being crushed by like peanut butter M&Ms. I don't know.
Being run down by Midran in the street, crushed beneath his feet.
Yeah, I guess for perverts, that's a fate you might want.
Being choked to death by Vice Admiral Doll.
Oh my god. We see that like Loki also kind of, I guess, senses his mom's dying, so he like kind of like pulls his hat down. Oh god, there's so many goddamn characters here. Harold goes to meet with the rest of the world government members. They have a brief little mention about Shanks and how he went missing just after he was about to become a full-fledged knight. Harold like shows up with the elders, and they're like, "Hey, you like his departure is your gain. You're going to become one of the new knights now." And he shows up to the throne, the empty throne. He's like, "Wait, why is someone sitting there?" And Emu is like, "Come closer," and gives him a brand that shows up on his bicep now. And they're like, he is now immortal. It chills the spine. But he is more than a monster. At this point, he is a weapon now. And Emu is like, "Yes, now at long last thou art an undying knight in service to Mu. And thou wilt create an abyss on Elbath." Is there an implication that Hariden was running back with medicine? Very possible. Because they are literally like on their way in when it happens. Oh, Austin, tell me something in your life for a second while I take a drink of water.
I'm trying to get you across the finish line, Quinn. I mean, did you see Mega Galissapod? The Pokemon ZA DLC is out, so I'm looking at the Megas.
I haven't
Galissapod lost water type.
Ooh, that's interesting. Now, wait, are there more DLC or more Mega Pokemon than the ones they announced for the game?
They leaked, so if you've seen the leaks, you know what's in the DLC, but a lot of them have not been officially announced, so I don't know how close you...
I have little surprises to find out at some point.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil too many for you, but that's the one I was looking forward to the most. Mega Galissapod is now Bug Steel, and he's like a little, like a turret platform. He's got 4 legs, kind of like he has very low speed. He's like planted in one spot and has like whacked out attack in both defenses. So he's like an invincible little turret. I like him.
Yeah, cool. I'll check that out then. I'm very excited at some point get to play Pokemon Legends ZA, and I'll be able to pop in and do a podcast with you where we can go over our little favorite guys.
I got a lot of them. Skarmory, big, strong, fast.
Good times. Cut back over to Elbath. King Harold is in the room, and he's like, "Wait, what did you just say?" And he remembers how Emu told him, like, "Use thy entire country to form an army of warriors. Thou wilt build a giant fleet to rival the Navy." And Harold's like, I mean, I've been doing all this to help Elbath escape the cycle of fighting. Like, I don't want to do that. I've always intended those who want to join the Navy to do so, but I don't want to, like, force people to become an army of giants for you guys. And the guards are like, who's he talking to? No one's in the room. And Emu said, "Thou said history would be atoned for, that thou saidest would be a slave." And he's like, "Yeah, I said I would be your slave." And Emu's like, "Nah, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to start mind controlling you if I need to at this point." And Harold just starts saying, "Guards, like, quickly, you need to chain me to this pillar. Like, act quickly. Something is happening. Get Haryuden and Yarul and all, or Chief Jarul here. Like, we need them to, like, deal with me." And they're like, "Well, Haryuden's out at sea." And he's like, "Well, free Loki then." And they're just told, like, "Hey, report immediately to the castle, Loki. The king needs you." Oh my gosh. So the chapter ends with narration saying, "But now, let us return to the story," which is a fucking audacious thing to say after a flashback that I think started sometime back in April. They are going to say, this is the day where a dark, terrible massacre happened inside the castle, and the most beloved ruler in Elbat's history, wise King Harold, perished. We can put some of the pieces together to presume how he perished. We know Loki killed him, and we obviously seen the context of why Loki killed him. I am kind of surprised we're not just showing that at this point. Like, I don't really know why we're hiding those details along this line, but I guess I trust Oda to pay off all these things in due time. It just seems like a strange move to have like a multi-month flashback and then be like, there's still more to tell, but I'll get to that later.
There could be a secret detail in the fight that's like the thing that they use to take down Mu at the end or something, and I don't want to tell you yet. Did you know that King Harold is the namesake of the Bluetooth technology?
What? What did you say?
Harold Bluetooth, the king of Denmark and Norway, was a real guy that's based on like how there's like, Blackbeard and stuff. Like One Piece is full of characters that are references to real life people. And the technology Bluetooth, as in like for headphones and stuff, is named after King Harold Bluetooth. He's a real guy.
So wait, this dude's name should be like Harold Bluetooth, basically?
I believe that's the reference. Oda does a lot of characters are references to real like things through history. Like Vikings are, these are all these giants are like Viking coded, right?
I believe so. All right.
I mean, literally Loki's Norse mythology.
That wasn't his name. That was his nickname. That doesn't count.
It was his Harold Bluetooth Gormson. That's okay. That's why it's called that.
Honestly,
that's why the technology.
Austin, I do feel in my soul your last name should be Gormson. You just feel like a Gormson in spirit.
A lot of Gorms. People say that about me. We got to get you off this stream so you can rest your mellifluous voice. We're going to do chapter and first character.
Yeah, we have to do favorite chapter and MVP, and I do have those for Nick, so I'm going to and say those real quick here once I pull it back up. Nick is giving his chapter of the week to Ichi the Witch for the Chrono Kizashi conversation. Gokuraku puppeting Ichi to give himself permission to fight, and in his words, capital letters, math. And then his MVP is Isho, the imagined version that is even more of a dick bag than the real deal.
This motherfucker loves Ichi the Witch. That's one thing I know about Nick. Mm-hmm. He loves it so much. I've already said my character of the week, my MVP. It's Midran. I hope I didn't fuck up if there's like an end of the year or like tally and you're like, oh, Kyo only needed one more vote and he could have taken it. I've ruined it with my joke Munchlax answer.
I like that you are worried that's a thing, that this show has like stakes enough that should someone receive one less vote that there would be some kind of natural disaster.
I take this seriously. Quinn, This is your career. This is your passion project. This is your life's work.
You know what? Honestly, I was about to be like, that's depressing, but I was like, no, it's not. It's actually a very incredible thing that this beautiful piece of art I've been able to do for so long with my friend has been able to be a testament to what I've done on this earth. Also, it's how I met my boyfriend ultimately. So in that way, good job me, basically, is what I'm saying. Favorite chapter, Austin?
It's hard. There's a couple of really good chapters. I like Akane-banashi and Blue Box a lot, but I gotta be honest. Spy Family brought me the most joy. All the little situations are great. I love seeing Anya, her body language, her thinking about taking the bribe. It's fun. I like it a lot. So, Spy Family for me.
I think her name is Saki from Blue Box is going to be my character of the week. I blanked on it. I think it's Saki. I don't remember. It's not in front of me. As I said, going into this episode, I thought I was just going to call her Kyo's neighbor the whole time. But then her name was said at the very start, so I was like, shit, I have to remember it now. My chapter of the week, I am going to give it to...
Oh, you didn't have it? When I read the chapters, like I know as soon as I read the last page of One Piece, I'm always like locked in.
Sometimes that does happen, but this is one where I have to think about it. I think I will also give it to Ichi the Witch just because I really love that 2-page spread of Kizashi and Chrono just going back and forth with their various interactions. It adds so much history to those characters in like a very fun and dynamic way.
Yeah, it also had the timeless quote, "Time to punch the octopus." So,
oh wow, that is a man who does podcasts for a living. because he knew the perfect way to bring everything full circle. Guys, that is going to do it for Weekly Manga Recap this week. There are tons of things to say. There are bonus podcasts that go up on Patreon. You can find those at patreon.com/Weekly Manga Recap. You can find this podcast anywhere the podcasts are published: Spotify, YouTube, Podbean, all those sort of places. But podbean.com/Weekly Manga Recap is where you can find those. There are episodes still coming out. But now that class is basically done for me, those should be out very, very soon. And Austin, do you want to let everybody know where they can find and support you?
I'm very easy to find and support. If you like the parts of this show, which were off topic and stupid, we do a show called Spew Punk, which is Quinn and I talking about movies and video games and Magic the Gathering and animals doing funny things on the internet, whatever the fuck we want to, and it's very stupid. Patreon.com/Austin Yorski is how you find that. It's also how you support Dice Funk, the actual play D&D podcast we do. We're on season 12. Quinn plays a fashionista dragon who wants to kill her mother. It rocks. It's a good story. We're doing great.
And the show I played...
You already killed her once.
Very true. I did forget the audience picked Akane-banashi as their chapter of the week, and Donna Schlag from Spy Family is their character of the week. That is going to do it for Weekly Manga Recap this week. I believe next week Nick should hopefully have his voice back, and we should be able to do an episode as per normal. But in the meantime, I hope everybody here has a fantastic evening. We'll catch you on the next episode of Weekly Manga Recap.
Bye-bye.